Just past the midway mark of a little bit of a busy day here for me. Anyway, we had this morning we had some horses training, some horses qualifying. We had horse racing. We have some racing later on. So I thought I'd talk about what went on so far today. Started off the day with Crantini, man. Just been a frustrating horse definitely the last three starts. You know, I get it. I get it, you know, whether it be Megan's frustration or Scotty's anger or my frustration or all of my partners or just people in general watching the horse. I get it. But I think Crantini's the type of horse that is going to make you remember that it's never perfect in this game, right? Doesn't matter if you have a fast horse, if he doesn't want to behave, right? And it's a tough thing to go through, especially when you go to the gate and your hopes are high, and then have a horse just act up for seemingly no particular reason. He was good today. Now, I guess the one thing, I'm not going to make a big deal about it because he dug this hole, right? There was no need of the break in the Poconos, certainly no need of the break in the qualifier. So he ended up on a half-mile track. Now, this horse has never really actually gone fast on a half-mile track in his life, right? Trained down at Tomiko, so he did get on a half. But it's been a long time since Crantini was on a half-mile track. He got here Monday evening. He got here, jogged him Tuesday. Actually, Ollie and I got into town Wednesday at 1 p.m. And I went out and jogged him on the back track. Wanted to see how he was behaving, make sure that he was okay. It's one thing to say, this horse should be better. Maybe there's something bothering him. That wasn't the case. he was fine. He was fine jogging. Went out today and qualified him. He actually behaved. My plan was not to have him, you know, everybody said, oh yeah, timed the gate perfectly. It was not my plan to begin with. I wanted to have him coming into the gate. I didn't want to double him up, but man, I almost missed the gate with him. And then he went out of there, did his work well. The little kid went out of there with the 8 horse was really hot, but you know, I'm not going to turn your bad day into our bad day. So you're going to have to find somewhere for that horse. I'm leaving mine right here. So Crantini went like 29, 59, a mile 56. He was rather good today. Now, will he be rather good his next start? I guess I did get a little bit of bad news. I got a message from Scotty. He had, at least for the time being, tendered his resignation when it came to driving Crantini. He said, I can't do it. I can't. It's hard, right? It sucks. You go out there and you're trying to be a professional sitting behind an unprofessional horse. And it's a very tough thing to do. So we have a stake race on the 2nd for Tailgate Buzz in Austral Hanover and Spitfire. I was going to send Spitfire back to Megan, but it goes Philadelphia, Meadows, the Arden, and then the next division of the Sire Stakes. So, although I am almost certain Spitfire Overseas and Megan will be reunited, doing it before the Philadelphia race, since we already have to ship 3 other horses there, maybe is unnecessary. I don't think it's necessary right now. And she's got a lot on her plate too. We got Blanton's Blue tonight. We're trying to figure out exactly who is going to Scotty and Megan particularly. What Pennsylvania horses do we have any? Is Really Don't Care going to end up there? Now, I didn't go that route this time. I told you I was also toying with the idea of trying to manage Really Don't Care, much like we did Bomb Hugger 2 years ago, where she went to Ryan Swift, then she went to Mark and Melissa Beckwith, then she went to Megan, then she went here and there. That's my plan, although I don't know if Megan got Bomb Hugger. I'm not sure now. But that's my plan for her right now. Blanton's Blue can stay right there. And when it comes to the PA horses, which 2-year-olds? We have the PA Trotting All-Stars event is on the 3rd. I can't be there, I don't think. But Memory and Imagination should be, right? And so should, there was another horse too. Drawing a blank. What's wrong with me? We have 2. Anyway, 2 colts that I think should be at the PA All-Stars. Memory and Imagination is one of them. The other one, I'm going to think of it and punch myself later. Anyway, my understanding, from my belief, we have 2 right now that should be there. And those 2 horses will likely go to Megan. The Sire Stakes is this coming a week from this Saturday at the Meadows. We'll get into my thoughts on Royal Emeralds and her race today as it pertains to her potentially going to the Sire Stakes or the Stallion Series. But circling back just quickly with the 3-year-olds, I think I want to think about it. I mean, Crantini's already finished second in the Sire Stakes. It's going to be tough to make the final, and quite frankly, the Consolation might be a good spot for him. Maybe race him in the Stallion Series in Philadelphia. That's an option also. There's lots of different ways to skin that cat, so to speak. That's not a literal term, by the way. We'll see how that shakes down. Obviously, my belief is Spitfire is 100% going to the Sire Stakes. And quite frankly, if... guy lost his wheel. And quite frankly, if he trains good and school's good on Tuesday, probably just go ahead and put Scott back on him. I don't need to drive Spitfire overseas, but I will drive Austral. I will drive... what's wrong with me today? Tailgate Buzz. And it appears that I am going to be listed on Crantini, his next start. Just to be clear, there is no wonderful rapport between Crantini and I that would make any... Don't feel that I have the key to him, because I don't. I just have to go in knowing that it could be a bad day. It could be a good day. And that's how it is for now. Anyway, if he gets on back on a roll and behaves himself, then who knows? Maybe Scott will change his mind. As for today's qualifiers, Levesque in action. That was dreadful. I think she tied it. She didn't run. Good for her. She didn't run. Actually, the line would look better if she did run. I think she tied up or something went on with her. She had no power. This is a filly we schooled the other day in 2.5 and actually schooled pretty good. Really, for her, really good. Overall, the bigger picture thing's not too bad at all. But that was a horrendous qualifier this morning. Felt like it took like a month to get from the head of the lane to the wire. Anyway, that'll happen. She didn't seem out of sorts in the warm-up, so a little surprised with the race itself, but that will happen from time to time. Everything else went perfectly. Sedona Hill, I thought, put in a sparkling performance. She was very good. Little green on the front. She really likes to hunt. She likes to be sitting behind, but going into a $150,000 race, I do need to stretch her out a little bit. And I was happy with her today, but she was a little green. Trotting-wise, perfect. You know, you can tell the little equipment changes, put the boots back on her. Lauren's been working hard on her, and she was behaved today, very behaved, and I was really happy to see that. Gypsy Hill was good, but he was slapping at himself pretty good. Make a tiny little shoeing change on him, I think. I spoke to Jason afterwards and said he was into those back shins pretty good. We got him covered up. There's no concerns in that regard. Maybe vet wrap should be applied also. Maybe it could help widen him out just a hair. And also maybe just a little bit longer shoe. Now what that'll do, in theory, it's different for every horse, but in theory, hold him down a little bit longer. Maybe slow his gait up a little bit so that you can maybe get those big front feet out of the way a little quicker. It doesn't always work that way, but every tiny little minuscule amount counts sometimes. And he was strong, but I had to watch him in the turns. Now, didn't have to watch him to the point where he made a break or even came really close to making a break, but you do have to coddle him a little bit through the turns. I'm less concerned because he's going to a 5/8, right? He's going to a 5/8 from the half. Now, how he does in the big race, how he comes back from that race, and what we choose to do heading into his first Sire Stake, I believe, which will likely be at Northfield. Don't quote me if I'm wrong. It's an easy fix. We'll see how that plays out, but overall, the power was there. Just a little bit of an outage in all 4 turns, right? He didn't throttle right back. I had to hold him together a little bit. There's going to be a learning curve there. My God, he looks good. Jason and the girls there have got him looking like an Adonis. He's a beautiful, beautiful animal, and we have lots of options with this guy. We started with a little longer shoe with him, opted for that. minor equipment changes heading into Scioto, and I think that will work out just fine. Now, Sedona was good. Crantini was good. I was happy with Crantini. Very strong. Never put a step in for a horse that hasn't set foot on a half in a long time. He was good. Gypsy Hill was good also. Now, I did not stick around. I'd leave to go drive who we're about to talk about, so I didn't see how Jason did. And Cheryl, we scratched her and trained her this morning. She trained a little bit flat, too, to be honest. I was a little disappointed with her training. She's done this before, where she's gone out and trained poorly and then bounced back, so we'll see how she is after today. And what else? Then I rushed over here. Ollie and I parted company for the afternoon. Uncle Jason took Oliver to his baseball game. I have my baseball game on the maps, the diamond on the maps right now. It says I'm getting there at 6:17, but I just left the Meadows. I'm certain I can make up 10 or 15 minutes driving on the highway. So I'll be there as they start the game. I got to watch them last night on. The cool thing is Game Changer, for many parents out there that use Game Changer, the one in Ohio shows video. They have a phone on the back of the backstop, so I got to watch his game, and then it's all computerized, and they chopped up his plays. He had a triple, a nice single, made a couple of good plays, so I'll get to see it tonight live. So good luck to his team again. They won 18-4 last night. Both teams on both sides of the border are on a big tear. The Nordonia Knights have won 6 in a row, and his team in Ontario is 21-1. Pretty good team right now, so all those kids are having fun but doing a great job. Now, I did get over here. Royal Emeralds raced great in the mile. A little fractious going to the gate, and I couldn't tell why. We usually have that. She has that brain cord on and a martingale to hold her down. Well, I believe the ring underneath maybe broke, and the adjustable portion of the Buxton itself loosened right up about that much, which meant she had that much more room to throw her head than she usually does. It happens. Once in a while it happens. As you can imagine, nothing's built the way it used to be, and you have cheap little rings and cheap little half the stitching you need and cheap nylon, and anyway, that's the world we live in these days, right? You know that. So throwing her head badly behind the gate, but I was able just to settle her and not break rule number 1. We all know rule number 1 is keep the trotters trotting. As we got closer to the gate, she settled into her head check, trotted out of there, and as she was trained, behaved following Ronnie Wren. Got a little fractious in front of the stand. She wanted to get going, and then we moved her second over. Now, I said to Tim, I don't know whether it was the ship or what, but she'd emptied out after the race pulling up, and that's usually a telltale sign that the horses are a little maybe dehydrated, maybe under the weather, so we were going to scope her. Actually, that was Tim that just called a minute ago. I would say probably like the rest of a lot of the other babies would say flips really easy, a little bit of redness, some mucus down there, and just stuff we have to work with. That wasn't her best line. Usually she'd run down that horse or at least give them a scare down the lane. Instead, she just finished up as strong as she could. I would say a decent performance. Mentally, I'm going to give her a wide berth here, because if that martingale was tight the way it was supposed to be, you wouldn't see her throwing her head, and she wouldn't attempt to do it. It was almost like she was thumbing her nose at me, buffing her nose at me, because she could get her head up. She didn't run. She didn't try and run. But she was misbehaving a little bit. But when push came to shove, it was work time. She did her work and never looked for a way out. So a good job by Royal Emeralds today. Our first green shoe, well, obviously Pull the Shoes qualified, won our qualifier, but made a break the other day. Our first flat pari-mutuel voyage for a green shoe was today with Royal Emeralds. So a lot of stakes coming up. Just another quick little look at, I'm trying to talk to Amy about Oliver's baseball and where we need to be, where I have to be. Next Generation is next Saturday. On the 2nd, that's the Crantini and bunch at Philadelphia. On the 3rd is the PA All-Stars. I remembered the horse now. It's Lonely Lakewood. Memory and Imagination and Lonely Lakewood will be in the Poconos on the 3rd. Somebody else called. Alan Swain. I'll call you right back, Alan. I'm going to have to decline. Right back. Lonely Lakewood and Memory and Imagination. Now, truthfully speaking, Scott can probably go with them. So the dance card on the 3rd isn't quite as hectic as it may sound, but on the 4th we have the Kentucky Finals in Oak Grove with Pickpocket and with Arson. So we have a fair in between then. Also, just a lot of stuff going on. But that, what you just heard, is what the foundation of my next 10 days is you know, based on. Where I have to be, where I might be, where I could be. We'll figure it all out, but that's where I'm looking at being over the next 7 to 10 days. So with that, I'm going to let you guys go. Oh, don't forget, Buffalo next Tuesday, Really Don't Care. We're going to enter her in the Sire Stakes, see how she races. That will be, I'm going to leave the house. That's Wednesday. Tuesday, I'm going to school a number of horses in the mud here at the Meadows, drive directly home to Ontario, hang out with Amy and the kids. I don't think they can get away on Wednesday, so I'm going to venture out again Wednesday morning, stop at Buffalo on my way through, drive Really Don't Care, continue on my way, and drive the horses at Northfield Park at night. So, lots going on. Lots for all of us. Lots to watch, lots to do, and we are now in the heat of the summer. So, with that, I'm going to let you go. I hope you've all had a great day. Royal Emeralds, good job by her. Good job at the qualifiers. Got Crantini back in the straight and narrow, at least for today. Sedona Hill and Gypsy Hill have both good preps for the Next Generation next week. A very good day at the stable. Good luck to everybody tonight. Blanton's Blue and Cutie Cumber, and I'm forgetting one horse race. Yeah, Absolute Euphoria is double dipping Saturday, Thursday. Good luck to everybody tonight. I'll talk to you all very soon. Take care. Bye.